Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for On Call for All Kids. Today we're going to be talking about bullying. We'll be discussing what behavior is considered bullying, how bullying affects kids and teens, and when and how to get help for your child. I'm joined by Dr. Jennifer Katzenstein. She is the Director of Psychology and Neuropsychology here at JohnsHopkinsAllChildren'sHospital. And Dr. Katzenstein, it's such an important topic. I feel like as parents, when we hear that word, bullying, it's a buzzword now, and it's really important for us to get on top of this. So give us an overview. What is bullying?
Yeah. Bullying is one or more children are targeting another child or a smaller group of children who may be marginalized in some way, or the bullies feel like they have power over in some way. And so that can include teasing, name-calling, more aggressive acts of pushing or kicking, or spreading rumors behind the scenes too.
And then there's a whole nother component, cyberbullying. We have a lot of social media these days. Internet is such a part of our world. How does that differ from bullying?
Cyberbullying is really when it's focused on some transmission of communication through the internet. So that could be instant messages or emails or social media, or again, spreading rumors via social media, or putting pictures up on a social media site or another website that the bullied child wouldn't want, or is embarrassing or hurtful in some way.
How do we know as parents that maybe our child is unfortunately being bullied?
Yeah, when we start to see our children being bullied, we usually see a change in behavior. So they may have more stomach aches or headaches, or trying to avoid school. They're not engaging in activities they used to enjoy. They may be seen more down, depressed, or anxious than they used to be. They may also even change the friend group that they're hanging out with, or want to avoid some of those activities entirely. And so one of the most important things as a parent to be really mindful of is the communication we have with our kids, knowing what their day looks like, who their friends are, so that if there is a change in those behaviors, we can recognize it pretty quickly.
And how does bullying really affect them? I'm sure this can just shake up their whole entire world, affect their entire day.
It really can, especially even with cyberbullying, because that has a far larger spread and a farther reach than even some of the in-person bullying can have. We can see kids have significantly increased rates of depression, significant anxiety and worry, but also it can lead to thoughts of suicide and self-harm.
So it can really go to the extreme. How do we then talk to our kids about bullying, whether maybe they could be the person bullying, or, hey, how are you feeling at school?
Yeah, that's something we really want to watch for. When your children are in a group of 2 or more, they tend to be less frequently bullied. So that's something you want to make sure to alert your child to if they have a friend or someone who can act as a companion in that way. But again, like I mentioned before, really communication is key on the front end. So if you're establishing those times during the day to check in with our kids, when we're putting all of our devices away, and really being present during that time to listen to how their day was, who they ate lunch with, what happened in math class, or what it looks like to sit in English or language arts class, and you have a pretty good idea of what that day looks like, and you can notice when there are any changes. When we talk to our kids about bullying, one of our first thoughts should be talking about ignoring the bully, because we don't want to give them attention for their behavior. But sometimes that can be really hard. So we can arm our kids with the ability to ignore, with the ability to take deep breaths and stay calm and not react. But there comes a point when we have to talk to school personnel and make sure that teachers and school principal and assistant principal are getting involved.
So then just really important for that parent to be an advocate for their child. What do we need to know about talking to the school? How do we go about that? When is it time?
Absolutely. If you're seeing any change in behavior, and certainly if you're seeing school avoidance, we want to make sure to go talk with the school right away. That may start with the teacher, because there should be some type of supervision at all times, and so we want to identify those points during the day where the bullying might be happening. But then from there, reaching out to the assistant principal, the principal, maybe a guidance counselor or school psychologist, because we want to make sure that there's an anti-bullying program in place at school too. 50% of schools that have an anti-bullying in place have a 50% reduction in bullying in that school, and all states have anti-bullying laws. So it's really important for the school to be considering that in their programming, and again, like I said, providing adequate supervision so that none of these behaviors go unmissed or unchecked.
Good. What if our child just really needs help? You see them so down, they've been through a lot. Do they need to maybe then go get professional help?
Yeah, especially if you're seeing a pretty significant significant change in mood, again, school avoidance. It can be hard to get back into school, especially if we've taken some time away from school. So definitely time at that point to check in with your pediatrician or a trusted psychologist or therapist.
Okay, Dr. Katzenstein, thank you so very much for joining us today. If you have an idea you want us to look into and maybe interview one of our experts on, you can comment below right here on this video. And you can also visit our website. That's HopkinsAllChildren's.org/newsroom, and you'll find a lot of different information on pediatric healthcare right there. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.